They were jumping overboard, trying to save their lives by swimming out into the middle of the ocean. And you know you are the person who has caused this, who participated in this. Not alone, of course, but you were still part of it.
Roberto Rinaldi is a former member of Jacques Cousteau's crew. Along with other expert divers, he wants to explore the mysterious wreck. 400 feet down, the submarine is accessible to divers, but just barely. Roberto and his team need more information before they fully explore the wreck, so they consult the experts. Luc and Marc Brouwer are the curators of Le Grand Blockhouse in France, a museum dedicated to the Atlantic Wall and its history.
What I find fascinating in this project is the reconstructing of the submarine's movements, from its launch to its demise, and also the prospect of adding to our historical knowledge in this largely forgotten area. It's exciting to feel like you're participating in history and not just being a spectator.
Roberto shows photographs from his first short dive.
You can clearly make out the deck's pointed shape.
It would be interesting to be able to see this discovery all the way through to the end, to identify the boat, to find its number, and retrace its entire history.
The historians ask Roberto's team to cut through the netting on the wreck that may obscure identification on the rear of the U-boat. But this is dangerous. At this depth, the men will only have 15 minutes to explore and attempt to determine the submarine's identity. Then they'll need to spend over 3 hours decompressing as they slowly ascend.
According to the earlier pictures, there's a huge mass of tangled netting. Who knows if they'll have enough time to cut through all of it?
The divers disappear. When they finally resurface, they're discouraged. Determining the identity of the sub will be much more challenging than they'd hoped.
And there's not enough time.
Not enough time. After 2 minutes, you can't see in front of you. You can't see what you're cutting.
One underwater expedition is clearly not enough. They'll need to investigate German military archives. Of the 62 U-boats that prowled the Mediterranean, only 3 are accounted for. And the last known position for one, the U-455, was close to where they found the wreck. Horst Bredow is a former submariner and a wealth of information.
Everything on the U-455 is here. There is a lot of information.
The U-455 was most definitely a 7C type submarine, but each shipbuilder works slightly differently. This is helpful today when identifying the boats on the basis of photos. For instance, a distinguishing feature on the U-455 is this railing along the tower. This type of railing comes from the Kiel shipyards.
The photos are compared to those taken by Roberto. The team is now confident that the submarine in Genoa is the U-455. Confirming the U-boat's identity is the first step. Now, the logbook of its missions can be located. They're hoping to learn how the sub met its demise. The logs contain names of the U-455 crew. And incredibly, 2 are still alive. They'd been transferred just before the doomed submarine's last voyage. Gerhard Schwartz worked on the U-455 in the diesel engine room.
I had no idea I was being assigned to the submarines. Everyone born in 1922 was supposed to join the ranks of the army. Under Hitler, everyone had to serve.
Recruiting new crews was essential for Hitler's plan. Countless young sailors were needed to defy the Allies. Helmut Spitzer was a trained mechanic before being drafted. On board U-455, he was assigned to the electric engine room.
We wanted to go. We wanted to achieve great things like others before us.
On January 15, 1942, U-455 departed from Kiel on its first patrol. In March 1942, U-455 gets orders to leave the Norwegian coast and head for Saint-Nazaire in France, which is under German control.
I still remember when we sunk our first ship, the British Workman. We were given permission to come on deck and look at the ship in flames. We saw people jumping into lifeboats, hoping to escape.
They were jumping overboard, trying to save their lives by swimming out into the middle of the ocean. And you know you are the person who has caused this, who participated in this. Not alone, of course, but you were still part of it.
Roosevelt responds to the extensive damages inflicted by German U-boats with a massive shipbuilding program. The war goes industrial. Allied warships now travel in convoys, making the submarine's destructive job much more difficult. Late in 1942, a new, more aggressive commander is assigned to U-455. Allied planes, meanwhile, begin to attack U-boats as soon as they leave port. Once considered the ultimate sea predators, U-boats were now prey. Now, historically, the record of U-455's missions becomes vague. The National Archives in Washington, D.C. show that the sub was involved in several battles. They learned that U-455 seemingly escaped damage from Allied assaults and was sent to the Mediterranean through the Straits of Gibraltar. When the U-boat arrives in Toulon, Gerhard Schwartz and Helmut Spitzer are reassigned. They won't be on U-455's next mission. No further logs about the submarine's activity are found anywhere. The investigating team still doesn't know how she became a wreck off the Italian coast. In Genoa, the diving expedition sparks memories of a recent discovery. Inside the Palazzo Reale, the team meets with marine archaeologists who show images of an underwater mine taken near the wreck during a cultural exploration. Axel Niesel reveals German, Italian, and British mine maps of the zone. U-455 must have received top-secret orders to meet at this spot so it could be escorted by a surface ship. But it seems the sub was not given copies of maps showing where the mines had been laid. Incredibly, on the way to the rendezvous, the submarine encountered a German minefield. After escaping underwater grenades and Allied air attacks over 9 missions, U-455 was a victim of their own countrymen's trap.